Hey guys, Kirsten here from All Training. I'm here with Shane, and we're here to tell you about our 12-week mind and body transformation plan. And this is the plan that's going to help you ditch the dieting mindset. It's going to help you get real about emotional eating. It's going to help you discover some what it means when you have food cravings or when you feel obsession around food or binge eating. And it's going to help you learn how you're self-sabotaging yourself. And really, when it comes to emotional eating, your cravings, your binge eating, it's all forms of self-sabotage, and then we just think it's about willpower and more control. But really, it's about exploring why those things are happening, the emotions that you're just distracting yourself from or of trying to avoid, that really we need to uncover and explore, unpack, in order to understand a little bit more as to why we're having an emotional response to food, we're having more cravings or obsessive thinking about it, or binge eating.
So for me, what I learned through the 12-week program, so you often, as a mom, you come home from work, you've worked all day, you walk in the house, there's stuff everywhere, maybe your meal prep isn't done, so there's no food prepared, people have homework, they have extracurriculars, all this sort of stuff. So you come into this space and you're already feeling stressed, and so then the first thing you often reach for are these high starchy carby foods, the candies, the chocolates, all those yummy things. And if you've restricted yourself with those things throughout the day, by following certain diets and stuff, then it's even more, you just want it even more, right? But through the 12-week program, I recognized and learned that not to restrict myself, to incorporate these things throughout the day as needed. So if I knew that I was going to be having a crazy day, I know you can't always predict things, but if I knew I had all these extracurriculars with my kids, things to do, I would ensure that I would be planned for it. And if I knew that those sorts of emotions were going to stir up these crazy cravings for chocolate or my favorite barbecue chips, then I would make space for those throughout the day. So always incorporating them and not restricting them. And I also became really aware of that emotional connection with food, which was a huge learning curve for me as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is not all emotional eating is bad. We just want to understand the emotions. Are we truly feeling those emotions, or are we just distracting those emotions with the food that we're eating? And so sometimes when it's periods of really high stress or crazy busy or change or unexpectedness, that's when we reach for those foods. So we want to learn different strategies or different habits to tune into what's happening and dealing exactly with what's happening. Most of us just want to shove through and just kind of like plow through the day and not really experience our true selves. The other thing is developing a healthy relationship with food, and that's kind of exactly what she's just talking about, is that cake isn't bad, chocolate isn't bad, candy isn't bad, it's all delicious, and it should be part of your lifestyle. Not all food is going to service us physically, it's going to service us on an emotional level as well. What usually does more harm is that we feel more guilty, shame, remorse, or feel like we're starting over, or we give in and obsess and binge. Those things are worse off than just learning, how can I have one? And usually it's because we deprive ourselves, and saying no all the time is the reason why we want more. So are you allowing those things into your diet? And that's something we look at through the 12-week program.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing that I did learn was, like, as a mom, you think of all the things that you feel guilty for. You feel guilty because you work all day. You feel guilty because you aren't part of the reading program at your kids' school. You can't go on the field trips. You feel guilty that you don't have time to spend with them, or your time isn't evenly distributed throughout kids. So the last thing you need to feel guilty about is having that piece of cake or that piece of chocolate or whatever it is. Maybe it's this piece of steak, so it's what this program taught me was to get rid of that guilt. It doesn't serve you. So how can we incorporate it in your everyday so that that's one less thing to feel guilty about?
Yeah, and the other thing is just self-acceptance. Stop beating yourself up and building up more confidence. And it's really about setting some healthy boundaries for yourself. And that doesn't make you bitchy or selfish or anything like that. It's really a form of self-respect. And you need to learning how to respect yourself and your time is a better energy or better use in order for you to then give time and energy to other people as well. And so it's seeing that building healthy relationships and learning how how to vocalize those healthy relationships to other people, an important part of protecting your space and protecting you, getting back to who you are, how the way you look in the mirror, looking familiar to yourself, and that self-acceptance there. The other thing is that we have these constant thoughts, beliefs, and stuff playing in our head all the time. We have over 60,000 thoughts that are happening in our day, and most of them are the same thoughts every day, day after day, day after day, day after day. And I bet you if you took a tally, you'd see that the same reoccurrence, the same negative thoughts about your body or your food or whatever, your weight, is always coming up. And it's really that if you lost all the weight and reached your dream look, your dream weight, you're always going to have those thoughts at that weight. We think that they're going to go away once we reach that goal, but they don't. And so that's what's the missing link between a lot of these other programs that we really dive into in the 12-week mind and body transformation plan, is that we really look at what are the beliefs, perceptions, thoughts, the things that you were told as a kid, the things that you experienced as a kid, the things that others said to you. All those things play a role. And if we don't address that, it doesn't matter if you reach your goal weight or not, or the way you transform your body, they're still going to be running the show and keep coming up. And so this is teaching you about self-acceptance.
And that all hits so close to home for me, because I went through that. I went through a program. I was able to lose the weight. I felt great. But there was so much work that was undone in my head, so much unpacking that had not been done, that I just fell back into old patterns. I needed to accept the parts of the journey that got me closer to loving myself, and that's exactly what I was taught through this 12-week program. So when I look in the mirror now, I might not love every part of myself. There might be wiggly bits that I think, that maybe could use a little bit of work, but I'm coming so much closer to acceptance, and that's really what it's all about. So again, going back to that, getting rid of the guilt, getting rid of all those feelings that are holding you back, unpack all of that stuff this 12-week program teaches us to do, and just start loving where you are in your journey and being happy with it, because you're able to go so much further, help so many more people, most importantly yourself.
And we think that if we accept ourselves, accept ourselves and love ourselves a bit more, that we'll finally eat all the chocolate, eat all the cake, eat all the junk food in the world. But really, if you think about it, if I love myself, or if I'm working towards loving myself through self-acceptance, I make different choices based on beating myself, making myself feel small, guilty, and shame. Those choices results in more binges, more emotional eating, more cravings, more obsession around food, and more of the mentality of stop, start, I'll start on Monday. Mm-hmm. Versus if you move through self-acceptance, you make other choices, right? You make choices based on how you want to feel and capturing more of that feeling or energy. And guys, this isn't just about weight loss. This is about living a healthy, fit lifestyle. This is about changing the way you are on the inside, how you relate to food, exercise, your body, how you see yourself. This is the whole package coming together in 12 weeks. And it's happened for Shayna, and Shayna's going to be in the journey with us as well. She's constantly in every journey with us because she brings such a different light and perspective to the program, and she's been through it as well. Me as your coach, and then other women in the tribe with you for 12 weeks, kind of going through this emotional journey together, supporting one another. Yeah, so we hope to see you there.